We are at a critical juncture in our ministry. And the critical juncture I would define this way. Are we going to actually radically pursue the mission Jesus has given to us? And are we actually going to radically pursue the vision that he's put in our hearts for Madison and for the world? Or are we going to give intellectual assent to it and push it off on someone else to do? That's the overarching challenge I want to give this morning, is for you to get in the game with passion. And only you know when you're really passionate about it. I'm not going to sit and judge whether your contribution is passionate and someone else's is not. That's between you and God. But are you going to let your commitment in our ministry reflect your passion for Jesus and his mission? The challenge is called one step at a time. I landed on this expression of this because fearful missionaries usually break through fear by taking the next step. And so what I'm going to do is challenge you to take the next step in contributing so that passion might break through in your heart. There's three things I want to say before I give you the particulars of this challenge. This is the first one. The moment you think this church can be healthy, the moment you think that this church can be healthy while you sit on the sidelines and not contribute, you have literally given up on God's plan to save the world and to save this community. Because he has chosen you to invest in the life of someone else. He's chosen to work through you to bring someone else to Christ. And if you think you can sit on the sideline and not engage, and you think this church can still be healthy, you're wrong. Second point is this. If you are not answering this challenge that is going to be given to you in the letter this week and preached about today, if you are not answering this challenge, if you go out of here and you say, whatever, you hurt this church. You hurt our mission. And you can make that decision. You have the freedom to do it, but I want you to know something. You're hurting. We're functioning at a lesser level than we could be. The third thing I want you to know, until you and every person in this church that has been blessed by this church, that calls this church home, that has discovered Jesus and his deeper love for them in this church, until you and every person in this church is actively participating as missionaries here in Madison and around the world, Madison is not getting an accurate reflection of the church that Jesus intended. But because he intended every Jesus follower to be on mission with passion and intentionality. So if you're not passionately giving, the people that are around you, they're not seeing an accurate reflection of the church. Period. This is the one at a time challenge. The first part of one at a time challenge is this. I am asking you, I am challenging you as your pastor. I'm going to answer this challenge with my family and my wife. My kids are going to answer this challenge as the Lord leads them. But here's the challenge. I want you to give 1% more. Add 1% of your income more to what you're currently giving for 2013. And so, plus 1%, I just want to show you how ridiculous this is that we're even kind of talking about this. Can you put the chart up? This was in the letter. So, for example, if you make $50,000 a year, what we're asking you to do is give $500 in 2013 in addition to what you're currently giving. That means if you're giving zero to this ministry, all we're asking you to do this year is give $500. You know what that is in monthly increase? It's $42 a month. That's $10 a week. That's 2 trips to Starbucks. Or for some of you, 1 trip to Starbucks. In addition to what you're currently giving. And I'm talking to everyone here. Whether you give 10%, whether you give over and above 10%, or whether you're contributing nothing. I'm asking you to add 1. And if you choose to say no, I just want you to know this. If you choose to say no with this challenge and with this plan, that means somebody else, in order to accomplish our goal, someone else has to give 2%. If 4 of you say no, thanks, then someone has to give 4%. I'm talking to every single one of us. Those who think they can't give any more and those who know they can give more. It doesn't matter. This challenge isn't just about money, but it is about money. It's about financial generosity and moving us to that place of being free. The second challenge is 1 + 1. And this next week, you're going to have a chance to fill out a card to identify someone in your life that you're called to impact. Now, if you choose to not devote yourself to that this year, think about the implications for that person in your life who's far from God. People's lives depend on your commitment, guys, in a very real sense. And finally, the last commitment I'm asking you to make is 1 chapter a week. There's an exciting thing that's happening. In January 13th, we're going to be journeying through the story. How many of you have ever heard of the book, The Story? The story is a chronological Bible, basically, that's written in terms that even the person that's never opened the scriptures can read and understand. And before Christmas, we're going to have some wrapped with bows books for you to take and give away as gifts for the Christmas season and to invite your friends to join us in the journey. They may never come here, but they can still join you in the journey in reading the story and maybe read the Bible for the first time. We're asking you to join us in that in January and to read 1 chapter a week, because we believe that we can't answer this challenge unless God's word is working in our hearts, unless he himself is speaking words of challenge and encouragement to us along the way. So let's approach this from a place of passion and urgency for the sake of our community. And let's see what God does to take care of all of our objections.